Here's a cautionary tale, something we can all learn from. This is the story of a Muslim man. In a tragic turn of events, the worst imaginable happened in his marriage. It started off in November 2021 with the belief that he had found the perfect match. A woman of exceptional beauty. He could never have anticipated the ugliness that lay beneath her beautiful face. He generously provided her with a substantial dowry, even though she never asked for it. As they entered their marital union, he also made her a partner in his business. He owned 2 car rental businesses, one thriving due to its location and the other needing some attention. He entrusted the prosperous location to her, as it required less expertise to manage. He retained the other location due to its challenging management demands. Together, they skillfully managed the 2 businesses, reaping substantial profits. With such success, there seemed to be no reason for her to stray. However, one employee at her location raised concerns. Every time he visited, the employee was always found in her office, a situation he couldn't fathom. Despite his warnings about the man's intentions, she continued to engage in friendly banter with him. This eventually led to a lunch outing, which struck him as highly inappropriate for an employee-manager relationship. After a heated argument, she finally let the employee go, claiming she found discrepancies in his work. Later, while going through her business emails to locate a specific invoice, he discovered an alarming email from the same employee, complimenting her appearance and making lewd remarks. Confronting her, she claimed to have fired him after receiving the email. Though skeptical, the date of the email did align with the termination date. Their relationship seemed to stabilize for a while until he witnessed the employee hastily leaving their apartment building one day. Upon returning home, he caught his wife in compromising clothes. She denied any involvement and gaslighted him, leaving him feeling conflicted and suspicious. A heated argument ensued, and the police were called, resulting in accusations of domestic violence from both sides. Despite both parties being violent, the authorities focused on documenting domestic violence, primarily attributing it to the man. As the apartment was in his name, he was allowed to stay while she packed her things under police supervision. They were both given the option to file charges against each other. Shortly after, he received a threatening text from the lover, further complicating the situation. She proceeded to deny him access to her business accounts, leaving him without control over the business he had entrusted to her. Seeking legal help, he discovered the harsh reality of divorce proceedings. Infidelity is difficult to prove under US law, leading to a no-fault divorce, and she stands to retain the profitable car rental location. In addition, if she presses domestic violence charges, the courts tend to favor the woman unless the man can show visible injuries. Even in cases where both parties engage in physical altercations, the man is often perceived as the aggressor. Feeling overwhelmed by anger and despair, he curses the woman who has seemingly taken advantage of the situation, leaving him with limited resources to rebuild his life. The prospect of starting anew is daunting, with no capital to begin afresh or afford a lawyer to fight back. He finds himself trapped in an agonizing situation, grappling with the consequences of a deeply flawed legal system. Divorce courts have been widely criticized for their tendency to favor women in various aspects of divorce proceedings. This bias is often perceived as a result of societal stereotypes and traditional gender roles that still persist in many legal systems. While it's essential to recognize that not all cases are the same, and there are instances where men might receive favorable outcomes, the general perception is that women tend to receive more favorable treatment in divorce proceedings. One area where this bias is often evident is in child custody disputes. Historically, women were assumed to be better caregivers and nurturers, leading to a presumption that mothers should have primary custody of the children. This outdated notion has influenced court decisions, making it more challenging for fathers to obtain joint or sole custody of their children. Even when they can provide a stable and loving environment, financial aspects of divorce can also tilt in favor of women. Alimony, also known as spousal support, is frequently awarded to women, especially in cases where one spouse significantly outearns the other. This perpetuates the idea that women need financial assistance post-divorce, reinforcing traditional gender roles. Similarly, property division can also be skewed in favor of women, particularly in cases where the husband has been the primary earner. Another concerning issue is the accusation of domestic violence. While it is crucial to protect victims of domestic violence, some men may find themselves falsely accused, leading to significant disadvantages during divorce proceedings. The legal system often errs on the side of caution, leading to the issuance of restraining orders or protective orders against the accused without adequate evidence. One reason for this bias could be the societal perception of women as vulnerable and in need of protection. Unfortunately, this view might overshadow the reality that men can also be victims of domestic violence or manipulative tactics during divorce. The rise of the MGTOW movement is a natural response to the stark reality that men are facing in modern relationships and divorce courts. It's no secret that divorce courts often seem to favor women, giving them the upper hand in custody battles and financial settlements. This biased system has driven many men to question the legitimacy of marriage and long-term commitments altogether. Let's be real here. Traditional gender roles have been thrown out the window in the name of progress, and the consequences are hitting men hard. Society has pushed the narrative that women are always the victims and men are always the oppressors. It's no wonder that many men are choosing to avoid the potential traps and pitfalls of relationships altogether. Muslim men are no exception to this trend. Despite their cultural and religious communities, they face the same daunting prospect of a legal system that often sides with women. Despite their commitment to their families and responsibilities as providers, they can still find themselves at a disadvantage when it comes to divorce in Western countries. The fear of losing everything, custody of their children, their hard-earned assets, and their peace of mind is a powerful motivator for men to distance themselves from traditional relationships. It's not about hating women or being against progress. It's about self-preservation in a society that seems hell-bent on painting men as the villains in every story. In this biased landscape, men must protect themselves and their interests. The MGTOW movement serves as a sanctuary for those who refuse to be shackled by societal expectations and unfair legal systems. These men choose to focus on their growth, happiness, and well-being, rather than risking it all for a relationship that might not work out in their favor. Let's call it what it is: a rational response to a system that has lost its sense of fairness and objectivity. If we want to see real progress, we need to address these biases and work towards a more equitable legal system that treats men equally and values their contributions to relationships and families. Until then, MGTOW will continue to grow as a testament to the frustrations and challenges that men face in the modern world. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.